So we are about ready to go. We apologize for being a bit late. We'll try to go fast from this point forward. So we'll so call to order. Welcome everybody. My readout will be later. And welcome, and the Pledge of Allegiance. Can Mr. Henry lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? In the back there with the Clemson hat? Okay, well then I'll do it. Well, I'll do it. You're doing it, but I'm helping you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Do we have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good. Report out of closed sessions. The Board of Education at its meeting of May 20th, 2019 in closed session voted to release certificated employee case number 2-1819 and authorize the superintendent or his designee to provide notice on or before June 30th, 2019 that the employee shall be released from first-year probationary position at the conclusion of the 18-19 school year, and the roll call was unanimous. Second readout is Board of Education at its meeting of May 20th, 2019 in closed session voted to release certificated employee number case 03-1819 and authorize the superintendent or his designee to provide notice on or before June 20th of 2019 that employee shall be released from first-year probationary position at the conclusion of the 18-19 school year. That roll call was unanimous. Okay. We will start with a report from the Torrance Education Foundation.
Good evening to everyone. I have lots of good news to share. Many of you here were at our 25th anniversary gala a couple of weekends ago on May 4th. And I'd like to let you know that we raised a total of $170,000 that evening. So thank you to everyone who participated in our auctions as a donor or as a purchaser. And also a special thanks again to those of you on the cabinet who helped us generate new sponsors this year, because that was a tremendous turnout. Thank you very, very much for that. We also that evening drew the winner of our annual car raffle. That project this year raised $67,500. And from the proceeds from that, already $36,520 have been sent back to our schools. As everyone I hope knows, because I've been beating this drum all year, 20 of every $30 purchase may be designated to go back to a school or school group or school affiliate to support the needs of each individual campus. So that did occur, and we sent half of the money, or more than half the money already has gone back to the schools, and they have it in their coffers, and they can use it to support their individual projects. Our winner, Yuka Uzan, is a parent of Towers Elementary. She has a kindergartner and a third-year student at Towers, and we will be uniting her with her new vehicle later this week. So she's very, very happy to be the recipient of our beautiful Lexus SUV this year. And I would be remiss if I didn't again say how grateful we are to Toyota for their continued support of our schools and the foundation with this annual donation of a vehicle to raffle. So get ready to purchase your raffle tickets next year. We'll see what kind of vehicle the next winner will get. I want to let everyone know, I hope you've seen it on Facebook or on our website, our URL. We have a very fun evening coming up on June 2nd, Sunday, June 2nd, when we will be having TUSD and TEF night with the LA Galaxy at the Galaxy game. On that date, we'll be playing the New England Revolution, So tickets are available. There are flyers out on the table, and there's information also on our website and on our Facebook page about how you can purchase tickets to the event, which start at $20, and join us for the evening. A portion of everyone's ticket purchase, by the way, there are higher dollar level tickets if you want a more special seat than general admission. A portion of every ticket purchase comes back as a gift from the LA Galaxy to Torrance Ed Foundation. And the first 100 tickets sold will receive an opportunity to have an autograph session with a player after the game. And I'm looking at Dr. Crumpy because she was helpful when we went last year to the Galaxy. We think we're going to be able to tailgate again before the game. So we'll get with you and hopefully let everyone know that there will be a tailgate opportunity before the game that evening. Someone at the Galaxy said tailgaters sometimes arrive at noon for a 7:30 game. I don't think we're going to be quite that ambitious, but it will be a good, last year it was a good party, and we'll do that again if we can. Yes, and there will be a photo of all of our guests together after the game under the Jumbotron with a welcome sign. Any questions from anyone?
No, the Ed Foundation dinner was, I thought, probably the best one of the last few. I really liked that we were inside for the auction part and then out in the tent for the dinner part. I thought gave people better chances to mingle and be social and all those kinds of things, and was pretty impressed with the whole thing, so thank you.
Thank you. I'm actually glad you brought that up because I shouldn't leave the podium without thanking a couple of our sponsors of the evening that night. The Doubletree Hotel has been a tremendous partner for us. They sponsored the tent where we all had dinner, and they have a tremendous kitchen. I have heard only good things about the wonderful meal they prepared for our guests that night. And then we also had a really generous sponsorship from Balfour Beatty, who's been a terrific partner to the district for these many years. They were very generous in their sponsorship and came in with a diamond sponsorship, which was terrific. And of course, we honored Dr. Mannon that evening. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks so
Yes.
much.
Okay, report from the Torrance Council of PTAs.
All right. Sorry, I'm not dressed up. I've been running around. So this is PTA Mom Nan. So like many of you, we're super, super busy right now. For PTAs all across Torrance, we're also, in addition to finalizing current year plans, rushing, last field trips, and closing up libraries at the elementary schools and all of that great fun stuff, fifth grade field days, eighth grade events, grad nights, you name it. We're also transitioning our new board members into their positions. So even though they don't assume their positions until July 1, they've been working probably since March or April to start getting ready to hit the ground running over the summer and be in great shape come September. So at the council level, we're looking forward to supporting them however we can. We put them together with mentors and do training. It's fabulous, really. We also had a small but mighty group represent us at the California State PTA Convention in Monterey. So I know many of our regulars, myself, Terry, were unable to make it because some of us had graduates, some of us had soccer kids. So it was a small but great group, and I know that they've brought back some great learnings and best practices, and so very exciting kind of a event for them. And then our next event, which I think we'll see probably many of you at, will be our June Spring Brunch, which will be happening at South High this year, the first Wednesday. Was that the 6th? I don't know, I won't be here. The 5th of June. So Denise Spellman, who's the incoming council president, will take my spot, which will be great. So you'll see her a lot more because she'll be our incoming council president next year. We'll be celebrating the overall district-wide winners for Bike Rodeo, and that's an annual event that we host at each of the elementary schools, and then they send their winners, and we host them at Victor Elementary, and so we'll be celebrating our top bike riders there. Special thanks to Torrance Fire Department for being our partner all these years and for helping lead that event, and to Victor Elementary for letting us host it there, and to our amazing chairperson, Christy Beisel of Yukon Elementary, for being our chairperson. The kids really look forward to it, and I know it's a memory they always keep with them, I think well into their teen years. And then we'll also be celebrating our college scholarship recipients awarded through the Torrance Council of PTAs. But I did a little quick math, and it looks like Torrance-wide, we've awarded around $65,000 in scholarship monies this year. So that's really, really exciting. So a lot of our graduating students will be, that much wealthier for a little while until they have to pay for school books. So I think that does it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Actually, I had a question. Before you
Mrs.
leave, Nanette,
Reagan's has a
can you
question.
mention the Project Boss Supplies Drive at Starbucks?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to beat you guys over
Yeah,
the head with
no,
it.
that's
So every summer, we work with the district, and we basically pull together new supplies for, I think last year we packed something on the order of 400 backpacks, and grade-appropriate supplies in each of them. So they're stocked with paper and rulers and protractors and erasers and pencils, and you name it, we do it. So last year, Starbucks had approached us, one of our local Starbucks, to do a supply drive, and we were unable to make it happen. And this year, we actually have, I think, 6 locations across Torrance that are collecting on our behalf. So in addition to the monies that come to us from each of the PTAs all across Torrance and the monies that we have, that we contribute as a council, we also have community support, and we'll have support of, more community members as a result of the partnership with Starbucks. So excited for that. If you guys are looking for more information on anything I've talked about or rambled about, you can find it at torrancecouncilofptas.org. Thank you.
Thank you. Yay. Good news student presentation. I will start with Dr. Kim.
Thank you, President Lee. Tonight, we'll be hearing from student leaders from 3 of our fine elementary schools. To start us off, from Arlington Elementary School, I'd like to introduce Lacey Sakai and Adam Kim. Let's give them a round of applause, everyone. Also joining us tonight from Arlington Elementary, its principal, Dr. Vicki Hath. Please tell us what's happening at Arlington.
Good evening, Mr. President, Board, and Cabinet. My name is Adam Kim from Arlington Elementary, and I am the Vice President of Student Council. One event I want to highlight from our school this year is how Student Council has been leading the Monday morning spirit assemblies to the student body. Before the assembly, we are responsible for gathering school news and information. We also hand out Super PBIS Starbucks to students who are responsible, respectful, and safe. We also enjoy running the Starbucks store where students redeem Starbucks they earned for prizes. We also have a mail order system in place.
Just hold on to it, yeah.
My name is Lacey Psyche. I am the student council secretary at Arlington Elementary School. The second event that I would like to highlight is the ShareFest project sponsored by Belfer Beatty. We are so grateful to the volunteers who came out to beautify our campus. We now have a track, new snack tables to sit at, as well as colorful murals painted around our school, newly painted lunch benches, and many beautiful plants on our campus.
Mr. President, Board, and Cabinet, we would love for you to visit our new and improved campus.
Hope to see you soon, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to share some of the wonderful things that are happening at Arlington.
Thank you, Lacey. Thank you, Adam. Next, I'd like to introduce the student leader from Edison Elementary School, Brianna Madrigal. Please come on up. Let's give a round of applause. Also joining us from tonight is the principal of Edison Elementary, Mrs. Jane Okazaki.
Good evening, Board President, Mr. Lee, and members of the board. My name is Brianna Madrigal, and I am the 5th grade Student Council President at Edison Elementary. This year, I have had the opportunity to see just how involved we can be in our school and community. Edison students participate in a program called Team Kids Challenge, which gives students the chance to help other people who need it. It teaches us that even though we are kids, we can still change the world for the better, regardless of our age. We had the opportunity to come together and collect blankets and towels for the animal shelter, non-perishable foods for the homeless, art supplies for kids at Children's Hospital, and we even created a carnival at our school. The carnival was a success because 4th and 5th grade team kid leaders volunteered their lunch recess to help plan different games with prizes that we donated ourselves to raise money for a charity. We were also able to vote for the charity, which this year we chose the SPCLA Animal Shelter. Can you believe we raised $775 for the animal shelter in just 1.5 hours of hosting the Kid Carnival? Another amazing opportunity we had was having the South Bay Lakers adopt our school. These are celebrity basketball players who take the time out of their busy days to come and help kids here at Edison. They have visited us multiple times. For example, they came and read to every single class in every grade. They have also stayed for recess to play basketball with us, which was pretty awesome. We even had the opportunity to talk to them and ask them questions. One of the questions I remember asking them was what they wanted to be when they were my age. Of course, most of them said that they wanted to be a basketball player. But to me, these answers were very important because they grew up to be what they wanted. In fact, they are constantly telling us to follow our dreams and teaching us that going to school and reading is a big part in being successful. Having role models in your life to look up to is the best, and you can never have too many. The South Bay Lakers have been great role models to all the kids here at Edison. They are so funny and kind, not to mention really tall. But most importantly, they treat us like friends. Player Marcus Allen even put his huge gold chain medal on me to wear. Overall, I am grateful and inspired that the South Bay Lakers have adopted our school. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brianna. Last but definitely not least is our student rep from Yukon Elementary School, Sydney Donaldson. Please come on up. Let's give a round of applause. And also with us is the principal of Yukon Elementary, Mrs. Elaine Wassel. Go ahead, Sydney.
Hello, my name is Sydney Donaldson. I go to Yukon Elementary and I'm in the 5th grade. I have been at Yukon since kindergarten. At Yukon, we do so many fun things while learning. For example, we have Walk Through Revolution, Walk Through California, Mad Science, and 5th graders have little buddies who are in kindergarten. In 4th grade, I did Walk Through California where we dressed up like characters from the Gold Rush, like miners or Native Americans. Walk Through Revolution is coming up in June and I am excited to dress up for that and be a part of the presentation. The mad scientists came to our school and had us do real-life experiments. That was really fun. I love having a little buddy who I can read to and make crafts with. Our little buddies also have baby chicks this year. I couldn't wait to be in 5th grade to get my own little buddy. I have been a big buddy in kindergarten and it was great. I also had the opportunity to be a part of the dedication of the science lab. I came first place in the SEAM fair, and I was one of the first people to receive an award in the new science lab. I am so honored to be here tonight and share a couple of the fun experiences that we have while learning at Yukon. I'm so happy that I was able to go to Yukon Elementary. I will always remember these fun activities and the teachers there, especially Miss Wassel.
That's always the best part of the meeting. So, I think this was Mrs. Reagan's idea way back when, so I will give you all the credit you deserve for that one. So it's always fun. So thank you very much. And all of you can leave now if you want to, because you have homework and other things to do, like catch up on, no, they're still too young. So everybody's good, so yeah. We lost all our audience. Okay, we've gotten to the point to where we have oral communications. So as I get older as a board president, this gets smaller. The Board of Education welcomes input from the public in order to discuss district business in an orderly manner for this privacy and safety of the speakers and to help staff respond more directly. The board policies require that public presentations to the board comply with certain procedures, including speakers to non-agenda items may address only the items that are within the subject jurisdiction of the board. Time allotted for such presentation is limited to 3 minutes. Total time allotted allotted for the public input on non-agenda items is limited to 30 minutes. A speaker may not relinquish his or her time to another. When addressing the board, speakers are requested to state their name, address, and address the president from the podium and adhere to the applicable time limits. Complaints against employees or students will normally be heard in closed session, and the district's complaint procedures should be followed before discussion with the board. The board may remove disruptive individuals and order the room cleared if necessary. Any person who willfully disturbs the public school board meeting is guilty of a misdemeanor. So there we go. I have 2 cards. We'll start with Mary Beth Borowski. And after her, Stephanie Elwood.
Oh, there she is.
Hi. Good evening. I wrote something up. Now that it's May and contract negotiating is coming to an end, I want to implore the elected members of the school board to do their duty to hold both sides accountable for good faith negotiations. Please do not let one side hold out so long that the other walks away in frustration. There has to be conversation and wiggle room. If TTA brings an issue up for negotiation, there is a reason for it. That means it is an issue at some schools and needs to be discussed and worked through. The contract is the only guarantee teachers have to protect their working environment, and that allows them to do their job in the fairest and best way possible. Some principals want to add work to teachers' days, and the only thing that protects us is the contract. That makes it sacred to us. That makes it worth fighting for. It is not in anyone's best interest to end up imposing a contract on teachers. That happened last year, and it created a very bad relationship between teachers and administrators, between teachers and the school board. We worked very hard to kick the incumbents off the school board and elect new school board members who would be fair and work to see the teacher's point of view rather than dismiss it out of convenience. Please keep tabs on the negotiating process and encourage both sides to working for a fair contract that works for all parties involved. This needs to be wrapped up quickly so teachers can vote before the end of the school year and leave for summer feeling good about the process. So thank you.
Stephanie Elwood.
Good evening, everyone. Excuse my cold. I'm exhausted. All my colleagues are exhausted. We are frustrated. We are tired. And it would really be a gigantic morale booster to get a contract finished. It would make us feel like you believe in us, that you support us, and we are in the trenches every day working very hard and would very much appreciate the support. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I have no more cards, so we will go into discussion action items. 10.2, which is approved an agreement with USA Water Polo Incorporated for use of the Aquatic Center. Do I have a motion and a second?
Second.
Good. This would be Dr. Stowe.
Thank you, Mr. Lee, members of the board. I'm very excited to share with the board and request approval for an agreement with USA Water Polo Incorporated for the use of the Aquatic Center beginning this Wednesday and going through July 3rd of 2019 as the official training center for the USA Men's National Water Polo Team. We've been working on this agreement for a few months, and I know it's going to be mutually beneficial to both parties. We've got world-class athletes that will be coming this week and starting to train here in Torrance to prepare and represent the United States in summer competitions. These are Olympic qualifiers for the 2020 Games in Tokyo, and they'll be competing this summer in Gwangju, South Korea for the World Championships, as well as the Pan Am Games in Lima, Peru. Part of this agreement, in addition to them using the facility during the school day when it's otherwise not in use for training, there's an educational component, and that is our student water polo teams will be able to watch their practices when they arrive. They'll also be able to, we're going to schedule a couple clinics for our students to be able to learn from, and our coaches as well, to learn from the water polo players and who our professional athletes in many areas and other top-notch college athletes at schools around the country. So the clinics, and then in addition to that, there'll be 2 inter-squad games that we're working on calendaring that will be open to the public. We'll charge an admission fee, and then our district will, and the schools will be able to generate a little bit of revenue, similar to the game that was hosted with the women's USA team and the women's China team back in December, where there were roughly 600 or 700 people, maybe even more there. And so that's going to be a great opportunity to not just expose a lot of people in the community to water polo as a sport, but also to see top-level competition in these world-class athletes. So I would like to tonight introduce Gavin Arroyo, who's here representing USA Water Polo. Gavin's a 2-time Olympian in water polo, 1996 and 2000, and has been working and coaching U.S. national teams for the last 15 years. He's on staff with this team and is going to spend a lot of time at the Aquatic Center over the next 2 months. He's a great ambassador for USA Water Polo as well as the sport in general, and so I invite him to come up to the podium and just briefly talk about this partnership that we will have established here that will help really train our next Olympians here for the United States. So Gavin?
Thank you, everybody, for having us, having me. I haven't been to a school board meeting in quite some time. It's pretty fascinating to see the different dynamics going on, but I can't thank Dr. Stow enough for making this happen. Going through my training as an Olympian, or trying to become an Olympian, we never really have a home. Our headquarters is in Colorado Springs, and if you know anything about water polo, it's a California type of sport. So we can't be going to Colorado all the time. So it's very difficult for us. We're always kind of searching for an identity, and we're so thankful to have Torrance Unified being our home to train our future Olympians. When I was going through, we'd go to Los Al in the morning, and then we'd go to Long Beach in the afternoon, and trying to get through school and trying to do a part-time job and trying to do all these things, and it's a pretty tough struggle. We're not on TV every Sunday. So for us to kind of call this home is so beneficial for us. And like Dr. Stow said, I hope something we can provide for the community is at least, like Brianna was saying, with the South Bay Lakers, just if you just shake hands with an athlete, if you just get to look at an Olympic level athlete, maybe that just spurs something. Maybe not a water polo dream, hopefully, but maybe it helps them think about dreaming and finding their passion in whatever it is and what it takes to get there. So hopefully we can do that for the community, and we're obviously very interested in doing anything clinic-wise or meet and greet-wise, or just, not just coming in and out of the pool. We had trained a couple times, and the kids came in and watched, and there was, almost maybe 100 kids on the deck running around, and it just kind of reminds you of why you're doing what you're doing. If you can have some contact with those kids, then if you can just get one kid to follow their dream, then I think it's worth it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you guys
That's
have any
great.
questions?
Thank you very much.
for me?
Your questions?
Yes, I did have a question.
Yeah,
for Dr. Stowe.
yeah, actually, there's a question
Yeah.
for Dr.
Okay.
Stowe. But to follow up on you, I think maybe the board could get in a pool and learn about how to do water.
You're first.
I'll definitely be first.
Just put another goal. You're good.
There was a conspiracy that I didn't jump in the pool the day it opened. Look at Dr. Mannon laughing, because there were some conversations with people near and dear to me that prevented that from happening. So, yeah. So anyway, Mrs. Reagan's.
Yeah, actually, I just had a question about lifeguards, just because it's not mentioned in the item. Is that the supervisory staff that might need to be additional expense, or they'll provide their own, or how will that work?
No, as with any outside group that uses the facility, they have to provide their own lifeguards. Clearly, we've got probably a number of people on that.
I would think so.
On that team and on the deck, coaches-wise, that are certified lifeguards. So that's part of the contract. It's part of the insurance liability that they need to provide to us, naming the district as other insured. But I assure you that will not be an issue.
Okay, just wanted to make that clear. Thank you.
Mr. Hahn.
Again, I just want to commend Dr. Stowe for making this happen. I think that we got a world-class facility in the Aquatic Center, and it's wonderful to see that we're actually using it to support our future Olympians in every way. And so I'm grateful. This is what I look forward to seeing our school property being used not only for our students, but for the community. And so it's fantastic. I hope we have a lot more opportunities like this, make these things happen. It's fantastic. And Mr. Royer, enjoy Korea. Just enjoy the World Championship. Good food, man. I'm telling you, you're going to be loving it. Good luck.
Okay, good. We got a motion, a second, and no more lights. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Good. We'll let you sneak out now, too. Yeah.
Thank you.
Unless you want to hang around. Well, he turned around and said he'd never been to a school board meeting, so maybe he wants to see what all this looks like.
Stay if you want.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have to stay.
Thank you.
Anyway, I will keep my mouth shut. The next item is approval of, and I ran a staple through that word, so that's going to be bad. Approval of annual declaration of need for fully qualified educators. Do I have a motion and a second? Second, okay. I think Dr. Crumpy?
Dr. Liberati would be happy
Dr.
to talk
Liberati,
about that
okay.
if you'd like me to. That comes from our credentials office, and the state allows us to estimate the potential need next year for what otherwise we would call an emergency credential. And it allows us to do that one time, and if we do have to hire somebody after doing a diligent search who's not quite finished with their credential, we could do that going forward without having to bring somebody or bring the name up every time. So this time we're estimating 2 that might need a CLAD, 2 special ed, and we know of 1 that needs to finish up a library credential. That's this item. Thank you.
Mrs. Reagans.
Can you clarify for folks what a CLAD is?
A CLAD is an authorization to be able to teach English language learners.
Good. No lights. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good. Next item is approval of proposed updates to board policies and bylaws. March 2019 revisions, first reading.
Move to approve and waive second reading.
Second.
Second. That doesn't require a whole lot of discussion, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, good. We have made it to the consent calendar. Anybody want to pull anything at this point? Mrs. Reagan.
Yes, I wanted to pull 15 point, wait a minute, is that the right
We
one?
have 3.
15.3, yes.
Okay. Okay, good. Not hearing anything else. Does anybody want to make a motion to approve all the consent items?
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Okay, let's pull up. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good. Let's go to 15.3, Mrs. Reagan's.
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to have a little bit of discussion about this item from the Chief Academic Officer, which is Dr. Crumpy, because it deals with something called a SARC. And I'm not sure if the public and/or the new board members are fully aware of what a SARC is and why we would be paying someone to prepare those.
Yeah, so the SARC has been around for a number of years. I think prior to data being as accessible as it is now. It stands for the School Accountability Report Card, and it's a state requirement that these documents are published for each school, and then a district-wide document that compares salaries, test scores, textbook like Williams, and it's really intended as a published document for comparability between schools and across districts.
Good.
And we actually used to prepare them on our own, many moons ago.
We did, and the company that we utilize for this contract can pull the data straight from the CDE and put it together in a quite comprehensive document.
And it looks quite professional, as well as being consistent from one school site to the next, so that the formatting is the same, et cetera, et cetera. So it's truly comparable.
Or enhanced.
Yes.
Yes. This was one of the shifts. We used to have two full-time employees in the testing office, and we moved to one employee. And this was one of those tasks of the second employee that this is just a fraction of the cost of that salary.
Thanks, I think it's money well spent, so, and as long as this requirement continues. Thank you.
You want to make a motion?
Move to approve.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are to the end. Board calendar is attached, and we've got some updates to administrative regulations for those so inclined. And Mrs. Reagan's, anything from Southern California Regional Occupational Center?
I do not have anything directly from SoCal Rock except to say that we did not have a meeting this month. It was changed in terms of the meeting date, so that unfortunately I cannot attend the alternate date that has been identified. And in fact, the school services report will be presented, unfortunately, at that meeting that I am going to miss. So actually, I've talked with Dr. Mannon about trying to make sure that we do have representation there on
And
that day.
Ms. Reagan's a little more. I didn't get a chance to talk with you. I did talk to Dr. Hilaire. His plan right now, he's going to let me know if there's something different to this,
Okay.
is that the presentation they're going to make, that school services making to the board, they're also going to have school services make the same report to the superintendents and CPOs. So unless something changes with that, he's going to call me.
Would it be possible to have that presentation brought to like our board meeting and share it with us?
Well, we can provide you certainly with.
At least a synopsis.
The written information.
Yeah, the written for sure,
Yeah,
and
the
maybe
written.
even a synopsis once we
Yeah.
have identified how it will affect us. Because I also know that they'll be talking about forming a working committee of the superintendents and chief business officers, so that will be happening at the same time. They were very fast and efficient in this analysis, so I'm very interested to see what they did pull together.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea for the whole board to see that school services report, just so they get a working.
We'll get a copy.
Yeah, that'd be good, at least the executive summary. Okay,
I had one other thing.
okay.
I just wanted, there are no classified anniversaries this agenda. However, classifieds, I wanted to give you a pat on the back and recognize you for the wonderful work you've done for our Classified Recognition Week, and hope that you all feel as though you've had a moment, at least, to think about the good things that you are doing in our schools, and people have thanked you for them. So thank you, classifieds, and if you haven't yet said something to anyone that actually keeps the school operating, your cafeteria folks, your people that do maintenance, your office staff, all of those folks.
Shelley.
Shelley, yes, yes. All of those folks are classified personnel, so thank them for what they're doing for our kids. And one other thing is I had the opportunity to attend the senior advanced fashion show at West and see the fashions that the kids have created and do their runway walk and demonstrate what their prowess is in having created fashions and put it together and put it on models and made it look great. It was a very exciting and fun event. So thank you, Wes, for inviting us, and keep up the good work. Thanks.
I'm glad you said West High after senior, because I didn't know quite where that was going, but that's okay. Yes, I am in that group now. Okay, orals from the board. I will start with the left with Mr. Gerson.
There are three amazing people mentioned in the adjournment in memory of, and I just wanted to make a comment about one of them because Mrs. Elaine Stannard was my high school counselor when I was at Torrance High School. And I graduated with honors and sat in that front row, and I think back to the fact that I would have never been sitting there if it wasn't for Mrs. Stannard. She, I remember when I was an 8th grader and I went in with what I wanted to do and showed her what I wanted to take in high school, and she looked at my schedule, and I only had one fun class, theater arts, and she said, "No, this is too easy for you. Do you want a foreign language or do you want a science?" I said, "Well, I'm a math science person, I'll do the science." And she signed me up for Biology 1 BSCS which was the honors class at the time, by selection only. And I looked at her and said, well, that's by selection. And she goes, I know, I'm selecting you. And so there I was in Biology 1 honors as a freshman at the freshman table, because everyone else were juniors and seniors with 4.0 plus averages, and there were 4 freshmen who all had Mrs. Stannard. So I probably would not be sitting here today if it was not for the pressure that she put on me to keep taking higher level courses. So one of the amazing people who has worked for Torrance Unified who will be missed. Thank you.
Mrs. Liu.
I also was at the West High fashion show, and I think it was my first time there. I think it was Board Member Reagan's first time there too, and it was just amazing. I want to commend West High for having the CTE class, beginning and advanced fashion designing or something, a title of that sort. Is that right? Okay. Huh? Costume and wearable art is the formal title of that class. And I was pretty shocked that they were really some great designs. I think it was very fun. It was well attended by parents and the community and other fellow students. I actually thought that I would probably wear some of those designer clothes myself. They were that good. But so that was a fun evening. I believe it's a 16th annual fashion show that they've held. And then another item I want to mention is I want to commend our academic director, Katie Crumpy, for bringing in a Sage South Cal for mental health services. She was able to find and in her budget and allocate some money to help pay for 4 full-time therapists for our high school students. I think it's a very important topic, especially nowadays. I think the general public should be aware that this generation of students really have tremendous pressure, much more and much different in many ways than what we parents or we adults have gone through. And I think it is wonderful that our district, along with having Sage on board to provide more mental health coverage, just want to remind everyone in the community also to be aware and try to understand better what a lot of our youngsters are going through, especially through middle school years and high school years. And then lastly, I wanted to mention that in light of the recent school shootings since our last school board meeting, I've asked Dr. Mannon to provide a presentation to us as to what school security measures that we have here in the district in all levels of schools, and especially my concern is the high school students coming in, having maybe had some pressure themselves and their mental health well-being.
That'll be scheduled for July, so we're already working on it.
Great, thank you very much, Dr. Mannon.
Mr. Hahn.
I just want to, again, express my gratitude to our Chief Academic Officer, Katie Crumpy, for the contract with Sage SoCal. I think that's absolutely imperative, especially for our students today. In light of the fact that it's Mental Awareness Health Month this month as well, I think the timing is perfect. And not only that, but even today, if you saw the front page of the USA Today, there was an article, front page was on teens are not getting enough help, or suicide teens are not getting enough help, or they have access. So I thought timing was absolutely imperative for this. And I wish that we can implore our county to give us more money, like they did LUSD, but
we have asked.
we tried.
And it has been crickets in
Yes, so
response.
letting you know, we tried to ask for more money because obviously LUSD got some money.
Well, if anybody knows Janice Hahn, maybe ask her to respond to our letter that we had sent to her that she has not responded to. The second letter, yeah.
And so, but again, I think that we're all on board with this, and that's why we really appreciate Katie for all that you did for the contract, and hopefully we can bring more awareness and bring more funding somehow. Obviously, we see another grant that was granted to Madrona for that as well, and so it's wonderful. But again, we need to bring more attention to this issue. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. One is Memorial Day is this weekend. It's always good to think about what that is, other than a big race in Indianapolis, which I will be watching every minute of, but it is other things as well, and that's always good to think about this time of the year. And plus, it's the start of summer, kind of officially, at least on the calendar, so maybe it will be warm again, I'm not sure. And start to think about graduations coming up and everything, so we'll all be busy. We have 3 new board members that will actually enjoy the most fun part of this job, which is handing out diplomas, so look forward to that. And with that, I will make a motion to adjourn in memory of retired high school teacher and counselor Elaine Standard, retired high school teacher Paula Gramere, and retired band director James Banham. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Good, thank you. Kids, come on up, we'll sign your paperwork.